All right, what is going on, everybody? We got another Shonen Jump stream today. We're gonna read some Odor of the Flame. I want to talk about Kyoshi because, yeah, everyone's hating on Kyoshi. Everyone wants Kyoshi out of here. Everyone's saying Kyoshi's boring, it's lame, it's cyclical, the pacing sucks, the characters suck, the fights suck. So, yeah. No, I feel like I'm in lonely Ouji land when it comes to Kyoshi. I feel like I'm the only person who really wants Kyoshi to be like big, to blow up. We got Josh in the chat. What's going on, Josh? We also have Grace. Grace, how you doing? And Grace, how's your Don reading going? Excuse me. Can I spit a hot take? Always. That is literally why we do these. I want to hear all the hot takes. Respectfully. We'll give everyone a few minutes, but I want to get right into Odor of the Flame. I should also add, for anyone who follows, I've been catching up to Sakamoto Days. So I'm like 100 chapters behind. So by the end of the day, I'll be caught up with Sakamoto Days. Now, Sakamoto Days, granted, I'm still 100 chapters behind, but my understanding is that how I feel about Sakamoto Days now is basically how everyone feels about the current chapters, which is Sakamoto Days had a really strong start, but it kind of just went all in on the action and doesn't really flesh out anything else. And it's trying to be something very specific, which is like a John Wick type story, which doesn't really work for a 200 chapter story. But yeah, it's good. I think everyone should read it at least once, but I think it would have had a lot more potential if it had been like a Gintama or a Witch Watch, but it clearly tried to go all in on the action, and now that I'm halfway through, I just, it's all right. It's good. It's not great. Me and my chat want Kyoshi to stay. I never heard any slander except some gripes regarding the color pages. I usually see people trash it on Twitter, like every week. People have been trashing the Black Parade arc. People who like Kyoshi like this arc, and people who were so-so on Kyoshi hate this arc. I like it. Considering it's only 40-ish chapters long, I think it's in a perfect spot. People want it to be like as good as Jujutsu Kaisen was, you know. But Jujutsu Kaisen, like, I don't know. It's like an old school story, and people are holding it to very like modern, picky standards. So Grace says, Dandadan is a good manga, but Kagurabachi is infinitely better. So Grace, tell me this. What, in your words, what would you say is the critical difference between Dandadan and Kagurabachi? Because I feel the opposite way. So I'd like to hear your take. Anyway, let's get into Odor of the Flame, because I loved chapter 1 and I really want to see what chapter 2 looks like. Another color page, as is standard. I stay away from Twitter as the platform is a problem. It was like that before and after he bought it. I follow it mainly because, you know, that's how I promote my stuff. And also, for better or worse, that's where a lot of people are having their, you know, discourse on weekly chapters. Reddit is one thing, but that's whatever. There's YouTube comments. You know, obviously I create a forum on YouTube. There's Twitter. There's other stuff, but Twitter is like, that's where people go to like say things, for better or worse. So we get a recap to the end of last week's chapter, the start. Chapter 2, Burning Hands. Vague chapter title. So I already forget the spirit's name. Anyway, she seems very like 0 to 60 as is in character for a fire spirit. Like, she's all over the place. Filgia is her name. Filgia. So we have Odor and Filgia. So he's cooking a bunch of meat. You have to knead herbs into it. Nice. Clearly he watched all the steak tutorials on YouTube. Interesting. So Odor says that Filgia reminds him of his sister, Sana. Interesting. So what's her name? The anime lady, we'll call her, muscular lady. She's checking in. She's like, are you doing okay? He's like, yeah, I'm all right. And everyone is commenting on the spirit, rightfully so, because it's kind of a weird thing. It's a 4-armed fire spirit that he just randomly got. But they're not really in awe. They're just kind of admiring it, because it's not every day you see a fire spirit. Dandadan is probably my favorite ongoing Jump series, right behind One Piece. I'm between Dandadan and Gachi Akuta. I'd say those are like the top 2 for me. Odor adds that fire doesn't hurt him. It just feels warm. So possibly an immunity to fire-based magic? Possibly. So Filgia, right? Filgia explains to all of the warriors, this cold is all the work of the winter spirit. The one who brought it life was the ruler of the Ice Kingdom. I learned it from the snow, from the soul data passed on to the spirit. Okay, so we get a lore dump. The Ice Kingdom used to be nothing more than a small number of demons. It was a poor, small kingdom of rejects. If they acquired power of a spirit, it would explain how they suddenly got so much power. So that makes sense. It's interesting that we're getting this story right as we're in Elbaf. That might not be an accident. So naturally everyone's saying, well, this is great because they have an ice spirit, but now we have a fire spirit, so it balances out. Dandadan is kind of confused, or Dandadan is easy to follow, yet confusing, with an unrelatable story that doesn't actually take away from its writing. That actually doesn't take away from its writing, and you don't see much of the humanity in its characters. Kagurabachi characters are more relatable, the story is more likable, and it practices its action and story equally. I would have to disagree, but I have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of people feel the same way about Kagurabachi. I will admit that's the first time I've heard someone say that about Dandadan, because my experience is everyone thinks Dandadan has like one of the best casts in manga, period. But I'm glad you said that, because now I know it's not this universal thing. Anyway, just so you know, that form is dangerous. So Odor's like fire spirit form, it pushes the body and soul to their limits. Exerting that much power is risky. You could have your limbs turned to ash. And now Odor is like, okay, well, I have all this power, and, you know, Spider-Man moment, with power comes responsibility. Interesting note, I'm part of your soul. Your emotions flow into me. You're free not to use me too. So she's giving him a choice, like, dude, if you don't want to do this, like, you don't have to. So someone froze the dock. It's a Nishtang, some sort of undead demon idol. It's a cursing pole that can freeze the area around it with spirit power. So the captain is saying, all right, well, we have to abandon the fort, because if we use Odor's power, we're probably going to kill him. So we got to get lost. Either that or we're all going to get frozen. We got Justin Garcia in the chat. What's going on, Justin? Pleasure to have you, as always. So yeah, let's see. They're going to abandon the fort. Basically, they're saying they don't want Odor to risk his life, because he already went to so much trouble to save everyone. So they don't want to push him to the point where he dies. So they're like, all right, let's go. We already won. What are we reading? We're reading Odor of the Flame. And then we're going to go right into Kyoshi. So Odor is saying all you need to do is control the intensity of the flame. So instead of going into a full transformation, he just uses fire to make a single weapon. Fire that isn't hot. I can adjust its intensity too. Interesting. So he made a spear, basically. He throws it at the spirit pole. Now everyone isn't getting frozen, which is nice. Odor adds that, you know, he's not completely drained like last time, but he still needs practice. So they're burning all their belongings and all the people who passed away, and they're sending them to Valhalla. The captain says to Odor to write or send any messages that he needs to because they're heading to Mead Mountain. That's a mountain I want to go to. Mead Mountain. Love Mead. There's a man on Mead Mountain who is a hero. And he looks like an absolute unit. Like he's towering over this other character, but we just see his back, so we don't actually know how tall he is. But he's some kind of trainer, basically. Anyway, yeah, I thought chapter 2 was really good. Straightforward, to the point. Didn't really linger on any lore or details. So far, Odor of the Flame is building up really nicely. So, not as intense of a chapter as last week, but still very good. I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. 6 out of 10. Sorry to interrupt, but what do I think about Blue Lock? I've not read Blue Lock, and I'm not really huge on soccer myself. All I will say is the art in that manga looks phenomenal. That's really all I can say. Anyway, so that was Odor of the Flame. Let's move on to Kiyoshi. Let me peek at chat real quick. This chapter is good too. Pacing is decent. Great use of character, emotion, and depth. A good amount of exposition on things. And I never sensed anything was off with Odor. Yeah, no, for like the second chapter, we got some character moments. Didn't go too deep into any one thing. So for a second chapter, it was solid. We got Gamer Chan Leanne in the chat. What's going on, Leanne? We also got Edens. What's going on? Please read Blue Lock next. I can't promise when I'll read Blue Lock, but I would like to read it soon for sure. Anyway, we got a nice color page. We're on chapter 44 of Kiyoshi, so of course, if you don't read Kiyoshi and you don't want spoilers, now might be the time to step out. But we get a grid, some profiles of all the characters that are currently remaining, the 3 demon lords, and then our 3 exorcists, Kyoshi, Sasaki, and then the 1 cross-paladin guy. So the high demon lord, I forget his name, cannot contain his excitement. He's ready to murder this kid. Okay, he's actually being pretty cool. He's like, all right, Kyoshi, I know you want to move, so as long as I get to fight you one-on-one, I don't care. Let's go move. Let's not waste our magic power here. So Kyoshi cancels his spell, and he just gives a little head nod. He's like, let's go this way. And the demon is like, you got it. What a cool little moment. That's so funny. It's so funny that they have this rapport from their last fight. It's really funny. So they go to an amusement park, which is ironic. Well, I don't know if it's ironic, but I guess it's a good spot for a fight. So he summons his power. He uses a Moonrise Kingdom, his pistol-like attack. But he charges it, and he makes it more precise. He shoots the demon in the shoulder. says I can't regenerate properly with a perfectly honed attack. So Kyoshi has clearly upgraded for sure. Of course, he drops his classic line, "I'll exercise the hell out of you," which I'm curious to know what that, what the Japanese original version of that is. Ouji, have I ever heard Metropolis 2001 and there's never be goodbye? No, I've never heard of that before. The ones I'm keeping an eye on are Chojo and Sid. I haven't had a chance to check out Chojo and Sid yet. I read a few chapters of Himiten last week and I liked it, but when I have some free time, I'm gonna catch up more on the like smaller Jump manga. Really nice clash on pages 12 and 13. I mean, it's just, I don't understand like why people are so quick to hate on this manga when the art is this good. So the Cross Paladin guy is fighting off against the number 2 Demon Lord, I think. He shoots a sword with his feet. A kick attack. I like it. Says he's going to cut the whole city in half. Nope. He parried it. That was a pretty straightforward chapter. I give it like a 7 out of 10. I want to give it like a 6 out of 10 because there wasn't all that much that happened, but it did a really nice job of setting up the Kyoshi fight. And then it moved to the Cross Paladin fight. So I'm curious if we're gonna sort of bounce between fights, sort of like One Piece style. I'm not sure how I feel about that, if that's what they're gonna do. Yeah. So I mean, we got Pokesel in the chat. What's going on, Pokesel? Pokesel calling me sus. Pokesel, have you read Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi? I think you would like it. It's not really like Bleach. It's more like One Piece or Black Clover. That being said, I feel like you would like it. I don't think it's gonna be like one of your instant favorites, but I think you would like it for sure. Still, it's not memorable among pretty good ones. Marocat, I have no idea what you said. Yeah, so a chapter like this, I feel like this is what people want, right? Because mostly what people have been complaining about is people are saying like the fights are one and done. Like a chapter starts one, fight starts one chapter, and then it ends the next chapter, right? And the fights are too easy. So like a character starts a fight, they might, you know, take an attack and be like, oh no, they might lose, and then they get some crazy power up and they win. I feel like most of the complaints about this arc are premature. Considering this is only chapter 44, right? I feel like people are using a level of scrutiny for this manga that is way too high. So if we look at Kagurabachi, where was Kagurabachi on chapter 40? So Kagurabachi was at the auction arc. Kagurabachi is an exception because it's very, like, it just, boom, goes straight into the story. People die like crazy. that's not Kiyoshi's style. Trying to think. Let's look at My Hero. Just trying to get a frame of reference. Yeah, so by chapter 40 in My Hero, we were in the tournament arc. I mean, that's still pretty early. And even then, like, not all the fights in that tournament arc were perfect. So by chapter, like, 45-ish is when we get into the Stain arc, right? And that was like, I feel like that was the first arc where My Hero Academia kind of set itself apart. So Kyoshi still got plenty of time to really make its mark. I feel like it's just people who don't like shonen that doesn't try to be like different. Because if you read a ton of Shonen Jump and you like that basic formula, I feel like you love Kiyoshi. But if you're like holding it to the standard that it like has to be different, that it has to be like modern and sexy and trendy, I don't understand the hate. I get it, but it's like, why? It's a perfectly good manga for 44 chapters. Pokesel has heard of it. He has not read it. Well, I would definitely recommend checking it out for sure. I got absolutely nothing and don't remember a single thing you said, and that's a good thing considering I might read it. Good enough. Kagurabachi had a pretty good first chapter, if a bit edgy, but good edgy. Kagurabachi is edgy, but excuse me, people want edgy. People want Jujutsu Kaisen. People want Phantom Seer. People want like dark psychological series, which I think is incredibly overrated, but it has its time and place for sure. Boruto is the best new gen. Everything else is trash. Lie. Anyway, so yeah, I think I've said it a million times and I'll say it again. I just think Kyoshi is doomed to be this generation's Black Clover. It doesn't matter how many movies it gets. It doesn't matter how good of sales it has. It doesn't matter how popular the anime gets, if it ever gets an anime. It doesn't matter. People will hate on this manga simply because it's basic and it's easy to hate on. The same thing about Fairy Tail, right? Name XYZ series that is basic but like super fun to read. Black Clover, Fairy Tail, you know, whatever. For me, I just want a good story. I would say Kyoshi has a great story considering it's only 44 chapters long. I would say I've enjoyed the 44 chapters of Kyoshi significantly more than I enjoyed the first 44 chapters of Sakamoto Days. Not by like a landslide, but noticeably so. Kyoshi is alright, it just lacks some pizzazz. Yeah, I mean, as much as I love Kiyoshi, I will say Ichi the Witch is slightly better. Kagurabachi I don't like better, but I see why people like it better. Right? So I get it. It's not like an S tier must read series, although I think it's getting there, but it's really fun. Who doesn't like Fairy Tail? Half of the anime community, excuse me. All the anime elites, excuse me, who are like, Mashima doesn't know how to write good characters, they're all the same, all the arcs are the same, the story is just made up, whatever. I don't know. We need to do in making an analyst my anime list stream. Is that something people would want to see? Because personally, I feel like everyone would be bored by that. But if that's something everyone wants to see, say something in chat, because I'm down to do that for sure. People will come down harder on Black Clover and Fairy Tail for the same things that they'll either praise or look past in like 90% of other shonen. It's just, there's a certain brand of shonen where like you lean into the old school style and like you don't try to be like super deep, and you just like focus on like action and silly cartoon fun. And people feel like they're being pandered to. People feel like if you like that kind of story, then like you're a meathead, or like that's the kind of manga that like people who don't read manga read, right? Like it's for casuals, right? And it's like, just have fun. Like Fairy Tail is so much fun. Black Clover is so much fun. Kyoshi is so much fun. When you stop trying to be so like analytical or like pretentious, you have so much more fun reading manga. Kyoshi, I was expecting I would hate it since it was paired up with Murakami, so I'm assuming the editor, and I loved it in the end because it was funny and endearing. I think it's hilarious, and I think the art style is really good, and I love the characters. France author inspired by Fairy Tail? Are you talking about Tony Valente? Because I don't think he ever explicitly said he was inspired by Fairy Tail. But it clearly has, like, artistically, it has similarities for sure. No, Murakami is a gag series. So what do you mean it was paired with Murakami? I don't understand that. Unfortunately, people have confused basic, generic, or anything with a trope as automatically bad or low in quality. Somebody said it somewhere, but there's this idea that like, just because you can spot a trend doesn't mean like, that's nothing special, right? If you can spot a trope, that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just means people like expect you to like completely like wow them in the first chapter, or like people expect you to like completely reinvent the circle, and it's like, you don't have to like be so pretentious and like have such a crazy high standard to genuinely enjoy things, right? And to have a holistic palette of things you like. It's the same reason I like my god, Zatch Bell. Because Zatch Bell is not trying to be philosophical or psychological or trying to reinvent the circle. It's like such a classic shonen. So like, I love it. Because it's got like the Dragon Ball charm. It's got like the Shaman King, JoJo charm. It's great. It's awesome. I love it. And that's what I love about Kiyoshi. It's got that like 2000s manga vibe. The art is great. The characters are awesome. I love it. Oh, Kyoshi was in its batch with Murakami and Himiten. I did not remember that. Thank you. There are two sides. People, what's same or change? Yes. Anyway, so that was Kiyoshi. That was my Kiyoshi rant. If it wasn't for the fact that my first Kiyoshi video got copyrighted, I would be more inclined to do a follow-up, because it seems like everyone wants this manga to get cut. It's not like, so it's different from Astro Royale. Astro Royale just kind of like fell into the abyss of like no man's land. Like nobody really hated it, but no one talked about it. It was like in purgatory. Kyoshi is like constantly on the cover of like, we hate this magazine, we hate this manga magazine. Like everyone feels the need to chime in about how much they don't like the manga. And again, I think part of it is because it's naturally being compared to Kagurabachi and Ichi the Witch. Astro Royale never had that comparison. Nobody ever suspected that Astro Royale was going to be on the same level as Kagurabachi. But Kiyoshi is like in that tier. So people, part of the problem is that people just get pissed off that it's even in the same conversation. Ouji, if I read Rave Master, I'm in my first read through and I'm loving it. Yeah, I actually have at least one video, but I have covered it on the channel. If you look on my videos, you'll find a Rave Master video. How often do my videos get copyrighted? So far this year, I've had 3 copyright issues, and they all happened in the span of like, I think like 30 or 40 days, which sucks. One of them, I'm not gonna point them out because it might cause more issues, or it might cause issues in the future, but one of them, I just had to leave it. Like I couldn't monetize the video, and so I just left it because there was no point. The problem with videos getting copyrighted is sometimes they get copyrighted right as you upload. So like it's not such a big deal because you just take it down and upload it again. But some videos do really, really well, and then they get copyrighted like 2 weeks later, and you're like, okay, well there's 0 point in uploading it again, because if you upload it again, only half the people who watched it the first time are going to watch it a second time, if that. Probably less. Is it a spoiler video? Yes. I probably keep the spoilers to a minimum, but it's like a full review of the series, so there will probably be a good chunk of spoilers. So save it. I would save it for when you finish. That would probably be better. Could you run a poll on the my anime list idea so we can fairly vote, please? Yeah, I'll post a poll. I'll do a poll right now, and then I'll do a poll on the channel, on the community tab. Because if enough people want me to do it, I'll do it. I personally want Shoujo, Kiyoshi, Himiten, Ichi, Shinobi, and Sid to stay, and I would write and fund their pilot OVAs. If I look at the Jump read-through right now, or the Jump lineup right now, Sakamoto Days I could live without. Kagurabachi should stay. Odor of the Flame should stay. Kyoshi stays. Blue Box. Ichi the Witch stays. Rory Dragon is Jump Plus. So I don't know. That's a weird one. Oh, Bug Ego is in there too, so yeah. Himiten stays. Elusive Samurai should wrap up. Don't know Shinobi Undercover. Akane Banashi love, but should probably wrap up. Nice Prison. Boot by Sia. Sidcraft should stay because people like it. Witch Watch I love, but it should probably wrap up. Embers by Sia. Kill Blue by Sia. Me and Roboco should go on for 1,000 chapters. New A's Exorcist Days. Star of Beethoven by Sia. And then Shoujo, I don't know because nobody really feels that strongly about it. Anyway, so let's read Kagurabachi. If you are not, no One Piece today, right? No, One Piece is on break. Okay, cool. Let's read Kagurabachi. If you're not caught up on Kagurabachi, then you might want to step out. Element. Blue Box. Everyone knows how I feel about Blue Box. Honestly, that Blue Box read-through might be coming soon. We might have to stream it because it keeps coming up again and again. So I think it's only fair that I read it again. It's funny because some manga I read a second time and I'm like, oh my god, I like completely missed this. I was so wrong. And then like I'm reading Sakamoto Days over again and I'm like, oh no, I was actually exactly right. It doesn't matter that I was 150 chapters behind. I was exactly right about this manga. Not that I hate it. It's just, it's whatever. Blue Box is mid. See, Grace is good people. May I ask a question? Why did Rival School never get an anime adaptation for 30 years? I have no idea. I'm not sure. I had that happen with a video that was doing really well. 2 weeks later, it got copyrighted, and it pretty much got stopped. It pretty much stopped getting attention views altogether, which sucked. I noticed that it's more likely if you cover a manga that's still pretty early. Once it's like closer to 100 chapters, they really don't bother you anymore. But like even 40 chapters, I'm like, I'll wait. I don't know why they do that. You would think that they want people to, well, that's a whole conversation about the copyright system on YouTube, but TLDR, it's annoying. It sucks. I'm surprised it wasn't bundled in Capcom's second fighting collection. Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway. Revengers should ending bittersweet. Yes. A lot of gibberish in chat today. Anyway, So recap, somebody tell me, what is Chihiro's friend's name? The blonde kid. I can never remember. I don't know why Kagurabachi, I'm terrible at remembering the names. Anyway, he's going to use his powers in the fight against Mr. Samura. We want you to teleport the Shinichi. While you were gone, we sealed it. If we can isolate it in a subspace, no one can get to it. You've lost a little bit of both of your abilities. To put it simply, we won't completely know until you do a test run. So it looks like they're attacking the Hishaku. They have a army level security system. The Hishaku were accompanied by the Shigyu brothers. So they're mercenaries? Okay. Kamunabi headquarters, central area, underground, level 1. Oddly, a lot of dialogue in this chapter. Executioner. Oh no, so the Hishaku are attacking the Kamunabi. I had it backwards. In the counter-sorcery land forces, he rose to the rank of colonel at the tender age of 18. Soshiro Azami. Yeah, this guy's gonna die. I can guarantee this guy's gonna die. I have to say, I like the setup they have of the like band and the speakers. That's pretty cool. It's like a UFC fight. So he absolutely murdered one of these Shigyu brothers, and he's a hand-to-hand combatant. So the dude's a badass. Decent chapter, 6 out of 10. Nothing crazy. Bringing back what's his name into the story. Hakuri, thank you, Hakuri. Hakuri. Hakuri's back into the story. He took a little break. Looks like we're breaking away from the Mr. Samura fight. We got some fodder Hishaku characters. We got the Executioner Kamunabi character. So, decent chapter. A lot of in-between stuff. 6 out of 10. How do you think I should manage my manga reading? I am reading like 8 manga inconsistently. Read 1 manga at a time. Don't do that. Do one thing at a time. Like, you can do different things at a time. Like, you can be in the middle of playing a game and reading manga at the same time. But, like, you have to budget your day for different things. So, like, one part of your day reading, one part of your day video games, one part of your day TV, one part of your day, you know, chores, one part of your day exercise. Like, you have to sort of budget your day. If you try to read 8 different manga at the same time, you're just going to end up hating all 8 of them. It's like people like to say, don't half-ass 2 things, whole-ass 1 thing. Don't 8th-ass 8 different manga, whole-ass 1 manga. That would That's literally like if you said to yourself, I'm going to play 8 different single player video games at the same time. You would hate all of them. Let's go to Ichi the Witch. Dying to find out what happens in Ichi the Witch. So the recap, last chapter, Gokuraku sort of came to his senses, but he's still in the trial, and now Ichi has to stop him without killing him. The magic is saying if you want to stop him, you have to destroy him. But of course, Ichi is trying to not kill him. So he stabs him in the shoulder, it looks like. Stabs him in the abs. So he's doing sort of a Elden Ring, Dark Souls style, going in for an attack, rolling out, going back in, rolling out. Very acrobatic. Great paneling as always. Gokuraku's still, you know, whether he wants to or not, still fighting full force. So Ichi slides under Gokuraku, pulls a chain, attacks his leg. Gokuraku bites him in the shoulder. Huh. So this is a very aggressive fight. This is not a magic fight at all, which is a nice change of pace. So he stabs Gokuraku in the back. He casts some sort of... Oh, no. He set up a spell with one of his magics. Aradni. So a spider magic, which I don't remember him getting. The Origumo magic, Aradni. It sends invisible threads, building a cage to trap and halt a target. I don't remember this one. So he put him in a cage so that he can't hurt anybody, and now all Gokuraku has to do is basically last out his Zoro moment, just like suffer all the pain of all the people's grief. So decent chapter, 6 or 7, nothing crazy. Nice fight. I'm at the chapter that Ichi and Gokuraku met for the first time. Oh no, in the chapter that Ichi and Gokuraku met for the first time. Okay. You can read less at a time and... Yes. Yes to those things. We have a few minutes. I don't know if there's anything I want to sneak in before we end. I think that's going to be it for today. Yeah, that's going to be it for today. Another question, and this is definitely important. Also, sorry, I never did. We'll do the poll real quick while we still have people. Everybody vote if you would like to see an anime list stream. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. I can't make any promises about tomorrow, but If enough people want it, we'll do it soon for sure. What was I gonna say? Oh, excuse me. So somebody had a question. Important question: is Toonami made? Eddie, I'm not sure what your question is. Toonami made casual audience become anime fans. Impact exposes? Yeah, I'm not sure what your question is. You have to reword that. I'm reading Blue Lock, Gachi Akuta, Black Clover, Blue Box, Dawn to Dawn, Freerun, Kagurabachi, Sakamoto Days. And okay. My bad, my chat glitch. That's all right. You can be reading like weekly manga at the same time. I mean, obviously that's what I do every Sunday. But like if you're binging manga at the same time, that's no bueno. It's no good. For something like Shonen Jump, I just keep it to like one day, or like I just read all the new chapters. Which do you think I should focus on? If you're keeping up with the newest chapters, you can read all the newest chapters when they come out. Otherwise, just read one at a time. Out of the ones you listed, I mean, it sounds like you like Kagurabachi the most, so probably Kagurabachi. But whichever one you're like feeling, like whichever one you feel the most motivated to read. Yeah, no, I understand the idea, but I didn't really feel like there was a question in that statement about Toonami. I'm binging them all. So yeah, I would binge Kagurabachi first, and then whichever one you want to read next. We got 4 votes for the anime stream list. So yeah, it seems like it's something people would want to watch. So, not this week, but maybe the following week we'll do that on a Monday. But on that note, that's going to be the end of today. We got 5 votes. Nice. That's going to be the end of today's stream. We will be streaming same time tomorrow. Maybe anime list stream. Can't make any promises. Dawn to Dawn, of course. No streams this week, Sunday, Thursday, and then a week from today. So next Sunday, I won't be available to stream those days. So we will stream tomorrow, but then we won't stream for like another week, basically. And then on top of that, we'll have about 2 or 3 videos this week. More like 3. All very exciting videos. But on that note, thank you everybody. Thanks for a great